You are now listening to the Super Coach Experience. The Super Coach Experience. The Super Coach Experience.
And welcome back to the Super Coach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brendan Savage, the coach of the Savage Turbos. After a stint on the sideline, Tim, Mikey, Jake, and Jay Lenton carried the show last week. And it was a brilliant show. I listened into all of it. Great show, lads. I'm joined here by 13th overall, the coach of the Villy Army. How are you, Tim?
Really well, mate. Thank you for having me back on again, mate. Unfortunately, last week on last week's show, there was a few incidents. Mikey and Jake have, been sent to the judiciary. A few on-field reports. So they've taken an early plea. They are only out for 1 week, so expect a big game from them next week.
Yeah, so we've got a huge show next week, round 13 bye. We're going to make it work no matter what we can do, because that's the biggest. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the biggest week of the year, but it's pretty much up there. But let's talk about Supercoach. Actually, let's go back to that. Jay Lenton said on the show last week that he would be in my seat this week, and it hasn't happened, Jay. So fingers up to you, because I'm back in my spot.
That's right, mate. No one kicks the king off his throne, huh?
No, but you're welcome back on anytime. So, Supercoach, I've gone down to 528th. I'm not too disappointed with that. I think that's pretty good. I'd be stoked if I was ranked lower than that and I was in 528th. So, I think the kicker is I was ranked at 150th at 1 point. So, I think that's the kicker. I'll try and get back to reality in a couple of weeks and try and get back up there. But yourself, 13th, we both captained. No, actually, I captained James Tedesco for a disappointing 97. Honestly, Turbo shits on James Tedesco as a player. Bloody hate James Tedesco. Nah, I'm just kidding. He started the season really well, but he just doesn't need to be relied on from his team as much as Tommy is.
Yeah, it's definitely more so that, the all the attacks based around Tommy. So the attack can be shared around the Roosters a bit more. They've got, Sam Walker when he's playing well, throwing these mad cutout balls and putting people over. So
and also putting people over from the other end of the try line. So in an attacking play, cut out ball to the opposition winger.
Yeah, I got that bold prediction wrong
last week.
Yeah, I did say it was going to be
Xavier
Coates, and I thought that's because he was in my mind a bit quicker, a bit taller, and I thought that's more of his type of play to make. But it happened the other way around, and I said that he would make an intercept try and score about 88, and I think Mead scored 89 with that intercept try. So I should have been less specific. So that's how I'm going to go with my bold predictions going forward.
So
be less specific.
I think most of us this week got about 1 or 2 out of 3, but it was the left field predictions is what we nailed pretty much. So Mikey said team to be down to 10 players. Didn't quite eventuate. It was 11 players. Tim, see a wang on camera.
Well, Kickout was in undies in the sheds. I'm pretty sure he'd have a pretty big wang.
And,
it wasn't a close inspection on my part. I was only watching on my phone, so I didn't get a...
That's fair. And this is the beauty about not being so specific. My bold prediction, the Supercoach record to be broken again this weekend. And it was on a team basis. So the highest team score came from this week of 1,849 or something. So, the way I was saying it...
We're taking wins wherever we can.
Yeah, I'm taking that win.
We're just rewording it, reframing it.
Jake, a player to be simbin twice. Victor Radley, he nailed that one.
There's no having to try find your way around. Did he get it? He just got that, and that was amazing. There was a lot of people sort of inboxing. Oh, he's got it.
Yeah, exactly. And Jay Knights 13 plus. Which,
second time only in history too, by the way. So I guess obviously with the way the rules are going or the way that they're being implemented, there's a much higher chance of the same player, but it is only the second time in history. So it's a pretty good call by Jake to have identified that as a bold prediction. It's a good job.
Exactly. So the Vili Army, 13th overall. How'd you go on the weekend, and what are your plans going forward?
Yeah, so on the weekend I scored 15-15. I was sort of really unsure about the captains this week, last week I should say, just mainly because Cleary and Turbo did have those tougher matchups, and in my mind immediately I sort of scratched them. They weren't even in my consideration, so I was looking at it, and like everyone was sort of saying, like Teddy's got the best matchup, and it stood out to be, and so I was aware of that. I kind of didn't want to. Sort of buy into it 100% because I had this weird feeling that because everyone was doing it, that if I can somehow not do that and he struggles, then I've got a really good chance of moving up, just by anti-potting that popular captain. So I VC'd him, and then I'm watching the game at the start first, 20 minutes, and it was pretty slow for him. This is a good decision. And then real quick, he sort of 3 try contributions. And
assists, actually.
Assists, sorry. My wording's terminology is not always the best. But yeah, so he set up 3 tries, and I'm like, I've done the wrong thing now. And so I'm sort of the way.
I remember getting the message from you in the group inbox, and you're like, I think I've done the wrong thing here, and you're stressing the hell out.
Yeah.
And even halftime with Hines, you were like, man, I've done the wrong thing. And I was like he's on 36 at halftime and he's done nothing. So he's on rate to get 72, and one attacking stat, he goes 100 plus. So
the awkward thing is that I was anticipating for Teddy to either go big or not that halfway in between of about 197, which is not loopable. So then I'm like, that's where I thought, oh no, I didn't account for that average, that good score. You can't loop, that's still good. And I thought, what if my guy goes down now? If Hines, I just panicked, man. I was starting to think of the worst case scenarios, but it turned out quite good by about having that sort of little buffer of it's about 80 points on if you captained it. The 40-point difference, 30. I think it's roughly.
It's only 40 points.
Yeah, but if you captain it, it's 80 points, so you double it, so you're getting an 80-point difference.
No. See, the
way
other
people have those players.
No. The way it works is, you pretty much got Teddy and Hines, right?
Yeah.
Hines got 276 as captain.
Yeah.
Plus the 97, so that's like 283.
Yeah.
If you captain Teddy and had Hines, that'd be 194 plus 136. So
that's looking at it from an angle of people who also have Teddy.
Because really, I think people stress about captain choices and think the difference is a lot bigger than it actually is. But you're really just taking that player's score off and adding the captains that you thought you would have had score on. And most of the time, it's only like an extra 20, 30 points, and the difference between 100 and 130 is only 30 points.
Yeah, I just think the scary thing this year, more so than years in the past, is those massive ceilings. Yes. And it's like if you don't get the right one, it could. And that's the thing I'm sort of mostly fearful of at the moment. Not more so picking the wrong one, but having my captain in any week go down early could completely send me off course.
How ridiculous is it that this year it's like that? Like my VC score on Thursday night was Valentine Holmes 138, and I mean past years I would have looped that, no doubt, but the potential for players to go 150 plus these days is ridiculous. And I don't know if it's a good or bad thing for Supercoach, but it really makes planning for the bye rounds a lot less significant, because if you're getting players in who are only scoring from 50 to 100 on most weeks, and you're missing out on some players that can go 150 plus, I mean, you can make up the points you don't get in the buys all them other weeks because you've got all them scores.
Yeah, I was even just thinking about that. I always think just before I'm going to sleep, way too long before I go to sleep. That's where I get my really constructive thoughts going. But I was sort of thinking, like, say someone outscores, or I was to outscore player X over here, Jimmy, who by 500 points in the bye round. It only takes him to over the next 10 weeks to score 50 more than me to be then back on par.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm not encouraging people not to buy plan or anything like that, but there is that.
Don't miss out on. See, if Nico Hines didn't play round 13, I guarantee his ownership would have been much lower than it is. But people would have missed out on them 2 big scores. A lot of people jumped on last week, so they would have missed out on that one. Instead, what? You're getting a David Nofaluma who scored 66, and you're missing out 80 points there. If Nico Hines goes out and scores another 100 this week and Nofaluma scores another 70, that's already like 100-point difference, and you need David Nofaluma to score more than 100 in round 13 to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, I think
that makes sense.
Nofaluma owners really want a big game from him this week because they've sort of bought him mainly for that sort of run up to the 13 because after 13 they've got 4 really tough matchups. They've got the Storm, they've got the Roosters, they've got the Eels, and they've got the Bunnies. And the 13 game is Panthers. So that's still going to be a tough game, even with all their players out. So I think, you really want a big score from him in that game. I mean, he's not going to score terribly when they get those tough matchups because he's a base sort of orientated player, which will take a lot of hit-ups and, might go over for a meat pie, 50% of those games in the tougher matchups anyway. So, but I think this is the game they really, I'm sort of scared of not having also with the matchup.
I guess talking about Nofaluma, we'll move on to our trades. But first, I want to mention our first sponsor of the podcast, Top Sport, have jumped on board. Australian-owned betting company, betting agency. They got really good odds there. So jump over to Top Sport and join up. Make sure to let them know you're from the Supercoach Experience and use the code SCExperience for when you sign up, and they'll sort you out with something. I'm not sure what, but that they'll hook you up. And I think even if they don't, that's just let them know you're from us because it really helps us out, and it's going to help us out at the end of the year, and it's going to help us bring better content for everyone. And
it's just so they obviously know that the people that they're sponsoring are worth sponsoring in the future as well. So if we're sending them some of our listeners to their betting company. If you're betting with another company, then that allows them to go, okay, then they're getting us some clients, and they'll be able to help us improve the show going forward. Just one thing about Top Sport for a lot of really good punters. I haven't ever been one of these people that have been banned, but quite a few people do get banned on the on all sites. Like I won't name other sites, but the bigger sites, players get banned. Once you start doing too well, they've got the right to refuse your business. It's in their agreement that they can do that, which to me is just really rough. So they're happy to take your money. These other companies, the main sports betting companies, they're happy to take your money every week, and if you're losing, but once you start doing well, they don't want you as a client. You know what I mean? So I think that's a bit dodgy. Whereas Top Sport, they 100% do not cancel anyone. So I just think ethically, that's a great thing. Whether you're a good punter or not, if you're a good punter, you've got the protection of knowing I can kill it and they're going to allow me to keep making bets. But even if you're an average punter, if you're losing, at least you're giving it to a company that doesn't cancel people who do well. So I think that's, for me, that's why they're a really good company to get around.
Yeah, I agree. And jump on board. Let us know if you jump on board. And definitely happy for them to jump on. We're going to do our betting plays of the week. We'll do that by the end of the show with Top Sport odds. And let's move on to our trades for the week. So we've spoken about trades and buy players and the difference between getting more potential in points rather than a round 13 player. My trades this week, one of them is not revolved around round 13, and I've already showed you Sam Walker to Cody Nikorima.
Yep.
I really like Cody Nikorima's draw, and I feel like when you said you were going to do it, I thought it was really left field, but I'm looking at it now, and I feel so confident with him in my side. One thing that does worry me is Rhys Walsh. What do you
He's taking away the attacking potential because he's the go-to sort of guy, and he's doing the running plays and all of that sort of stuff, out sweeping plays at the back. But in saying that, or the reason I sort of jumped on him is he's got the kicking. I wanted to start getting some 17 players. I've only got prior to that, I only had one or two gun players that are going to be going into that, and maybe one or two players that will play, but I'm likely going to have to sell them before it gets to that because they're just not worth keeping for that long. I mean, it's a different tactic. I mean, it depends where you're at. If you've biplanned well up into 13, like you and I have, and quite a few people that have got that approach have, then you can bring in some 17 players that aren't going to be origin affected or anything like that. So that's why I sort of try to identify Kiwi players and stuff like that. But that was my move, and I think that's a pretty good trade, man.
I really like it. He's playing the Cowboys this week. Cowboys are in good form, but they're still leaking points here and there. And I see just round 17 player. I'm not sure if people are going to jump on eventually.
Oh, he'll get on eventually. They'll either go him or Sean Johnson, because he's a 17 player, isn't
he? He is, but he actually will be kicking goals now. So
yeah, so there's that. I sort of was like, oh, did I jump on? I had that. Did I get on Nicarima before having a good look at SJ?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't. For me, if I'd stick to I'm not going to swap if SJ.
I feel like Nicarima's been really good in a decent side, whereas Sean Johnson just hasn't had much game time yet. I have no doubt Sean Johnson. Everyone will jump on at one point, but I'm pretty happy to go with what I'm going with.
You making a second trade?
I can see Nicarima dummying and going through the line this week and doing that a few times.
He does like to run. He's a nippy little guy.
Yeah, actually very surprising when I looked at his stats. He's scored a few tons, and bold predictions this week. Don't be surprised to see him in them. My second trade was actually Jason Saab is out. So
I didn't know that. I haven't had a really close, thorough look. I sort of scanned. My gun players, main players, make sure everything was okay. But yes, I did miss that. What's going on there?
Oh no, I didn't. I hadn't done that trade yet.
But he's out. Oh, he's out of your side, or he's out of Manly?
No, he's out of my side.
Oh, okay, but he's still in the Manly side. Yeah. Okay, yeah, cool. Sorry.
So break even at 47, 476,000. I think he's got.
What's his break even again? Could you repeat that?
47.
Okay.
See, the SC Playbook had a really good argument today just based on him. Manly have a really good draw coming up, and Turbo just feeds him the ball and makes him look like a great player. But who has the confidence to play him when their sides are becoming stronger, Supercoach sides, that is? And, do you really want to play Jason Saab over a Bradman Best or a David Nofaluma? And you will only be playing him in that round 17 bye when Tommy is out of the side and has scores of 29, 11, 34, 5.
Look, I kind of would normally be like, there's no way at this point in the season I could be playing Saab unless it was a crazy matchup, you know what I mean? Where you just identify that, Tommy's going to feed him. He's going to get some. Yeah. He'll run for, that 50-meter try just where he just gives it to him and he just puts it on. And but, look, there is... In 2021, the points for each side, even losing sides that are struggling, they're often getting 18 points, 3 tries and stuff like that. So I think some of these players you think that aren't that great, they've got more value than what you think they have. So Remus for me is someone I was burning for ages. I had him from the start and I've still got him. And it's only because I identified a couple of weeks he was going to do good. And then a couple of weeks I thought he wasn't going to do good. I've pined him. Last week, I ended up playing him because of the weaker sort of Canberra side. But there's, I think there is players like Saab, Remus Smith, and even Staines in certain matchups where you can play them, and it's a little bit, you're sitting on the edge of your seat, like give him the ball, pass it, give it to him, But I don't know. I still think there's some value in them, but I 100% agree. I don't feel confident about it.
Well, I've gone him to Nofaluma, and I think it's very tough because he's had his good run. The way he is inside him, who doesn't like to pass.
Yep.
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I feel like if you wanted to get Northo, maybe I would have got him a couple of weeks ago. But some of the times there's other bigger priorities. He was definitely on my radar for a bit. He's like I always sort of have my on the radar sort of in a notebook, and he was always there and trying to find which week I was going to slot him in. But just because I let it pass those couple of weeks where I thought he was going to have okay games, like he should have gone bigger last week. That was a game I was scared. This week I'm scared.
Yep.
So, but then I don't know. Yeah, for me, I'm gonna maybe if I do get him, it'll probably after 17.
Yep.
You know what I mean? After 17.
Is there any centre wingers or second rowers? Actually, no. Let's.
No, go on.
No.
No.
Talk about your trades because this is a hot topic that I've got to bring up. So,
Okay, sure.
What are your trades?
Okay, so as I sort of said to you throughout the week, I sort of don't really look at it Monday. I don't think about it Supercoach at all. I like to have a day off and give the players a day off as well to just sort of spend time with their families. But and then Tuesday usually comes around. I start looking at teams list a little bit. I still haven't processed it. I've had a lot of subconscious thoughts. I'm trying to ignore every time Supercoach comes into my mind, and I've allocated Thursday to be a full like a PowerPoint seminar for me, where I'm just sort of got the whiteboard out and getting every crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and trying to look into the future. But there are players I'm looking at, and they're obviously going to be 13 players at this point. I've got 10, 11 10 guaranteed sort of semi-gun, all guns or semi-guns, not including those sort of Linus and stuff like that, or Commandos that won't play and stuff, or Origin players that are potential like To'o, Luai, all that. So I could come out and be a little bit better than that if some of those guys don't get selected, even Madison and stuff. But I'm thinking of maybe trying to get. I'll probably have to just get one gun player this week, and I have to nuff out the other one just to create that value.
Yep.
But that nuff would obviously be Jared Anderson, so I can use him as that.
You're not going to go just another player
I feel like whenever I'm looking at my loops every week, I'm trying to work out how am I going to get that loop to happen. Oh no, these guys play all in the early games. I just want that enough that I can flick up, back, and down and use him as a loop.
Yeah,
I might have a closer look and see how many of the Bulldogs games are in the back, part of the weekends going forward.
But like a Keenan Palasia, he's someone who could potentially
will play. Yeah,
like he's starting in the side this week, and there's Jordan Ricky coming back and Alex Glenn.
But the way I look at it
out of the side completely.
Is if he doesn't drop out of the side and he comes as some sort of AE nightmare, just because Broncos have got funny little. They've got a funny little squad where they sort of bring people in and out and stuff a bit throughout the season. I just don't want to have to get rid of him as well. So if Anderson's someone I want to keep, he's a keeper. He's a keep enough. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's where I sort of look at it that way. But I did look at him, but as a lot of people are saying, aim to get quality gun people that are going to score well and average usually well, pretty well, and maybe. If you've got 3 or 4 extra guys that normally are going to only get you maybe 25 or whatever, and you get 100 points out of 4 more players, then I don't know. That's just where I'm thinking with that. So that's probably fair. Not. So probably I'm looking at originally I was looking at Brandon Smith, but there's something about it now where it looks like he's only going to play 60 minutes, and close look he does score quite average when he's not. Got the attacking play, so I don't really want that. But the thing that looked nice for me is I thought, I could get him in the second row this week and then move him up to hooker and move Connor Watson down. I just had all these different, puzzles that were going on in my head with how I could use that. But I'm off him a bit now. I was on Kickow a couple of weeks ago, and I said to you this was the week I was bringing him in, and I was going to get him at perfect value, and this is the week he's the cheapest too. So I'm
What's he at now?
He's just under 390 or something, I think.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 300. I'm like, wow.
No, he's he's about 390 or something. That's where he was at last week. He didn't quite meet his BE. I think his BE was about 70 or 50 and he scored about 50. So he hasn't really fluctuated or anything. But the matchup's nice. I think in 13, he'll probably have a good game without all the other blokes missing as well. So they'll probably use him a bit because he's a strength. But I don't know. I'm just trying to. I'm thinking maybe it's really an emotional thing that I just want the Villi Army in the Villi Army. So I'm thinking maybe the reason my name is the Villi Army this year is just a thing to tell me don't get Villi Army. It's just like a sign. So I don't know. The player I'm looking at is Jerome Hughes to come in for Sam Walker. But as we said, we're talking a bit pre-show. I'm a bit reluctant about knowing whether he's a sell or not. I know his BE would suggest he is, and you cash in and make the money off him. And he's done a good job for you, and all of that. But I just wonder if it wasn't so injured, I'd be keeping him 100%, just because I know he's got those big games. And if he's going to score 150 one week or 120, and then he's going to score 20 the week after, he's averaging out nicely.
I kind of agree with you.
So if you're not playing head-to-head and overall, he's still averaging very, very nicely.
Yes, but I really think it's the Nathan Cleary syndrome, where when Nathan Cleary came into the grade, he got scores of like back-to-back hundreds, back-to-back big scores. Then players found him out and started isolating him. He did not hit his peak Supercoach form up until last year. He would go in patches where he would score big scores.
Yeah.
But just generally, like, he had to work hard to get to work around
shapes and
like Sam Walker, he's obviously talented, but he's got most of his points from
that Hail Mary pass. Not a Hail Mary. It's a skillful pass.
It's a skillful pass, but you can just see it coming from a mile away now.
Yeah.
Like, even from the TV, like, you know he's going to pass that. And if we know he's going to pass that, the NRL team doing the videos all week on him know he's going to pass it. So I just think that at least them try assists are going to slow down. And because them try assists are going to be isolated from the wingers, then maybe the people inside him are more confident in just going for him and tackling him. I don't know. But my feeling is he'll probably have one more big score this season, but that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think you've sort of talked me in. He probably is a bit more of a sell. It's just, I guess
you look so sad.
Yeah, I do. When you get it, like, I try to not be emotional, but he's little Sammy Walker. He's a little gun. He's just come into my life. I feel like he's like, when you're at school and there's like when you're at school and there was a new girl came and she just was ridiculously good looking. Like, bags her.
Yeah.
That's probably not a good attitude or mentality in 2021.
Yes,
but I was just I like her and I'm going to try.
Because Sammy Walker is exactly this description, because
that's how I feel about him. I've got this crush.
Girl, everyone wants to bags her. Everyone's bags Sammy Walker in Supercoach. I think this.
Maybe I want to, keep him and make him my wife. In that sort of mentality.
But I feel like
Supercoach wise,
just think about it score wise. If he averages less than the next best halfback,
then it's not the right decision.
It's not the right decision. And he is so highly owned that if you pot up and he keeps scoring like the way he is right now,
he's going to be he's going to be very highly sold too.
Yeah.
People see those scores of 21, they forget those bigger scores, and they just, especially if they played him or if they captained him, they rage him out. Especially if you captained him, you'll be raging.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I don't forget them big scores, but I saw this happen with Nathan Cleary, and I don't know if it's going to happen. I'll eat my words if it does, but he just looks cooked for the season.
Just
the
frail side of his physicality at the moment makes me more lean towards the sell
100%. If he was like bigger and like there was confidence in him, just being able to muscle his way through every week, no doubt he'd be a hold. But
just one good hit away from a big injury. I know, like I'm probably way less than Sam Walker, to be honest.
You're probably the same size.
Yeah, but I know if I was to cop some of the things that I see him copping, I don't go to the gym, but we're a similar size, but I think it'd kill me. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, we played Oztag and I had rib cartilage issues from just a ball. I think I fell on the ball and landed on the ball to dive on a loose ball, which you don't really need to do in Oztag.
Yeah. So your other trade is enough.
Yeah, I think so at this point. But as I said, man, I'm getting the whiteboard out. This is where I'm at the moment. I think that's where I'm at, but I could go down other paths. Like I looked at these players I'm looking at, like, as I said, the cheese a little bit. Mo Fodawaker was impressive last week, and I wonder whether he's just his fends and his tackle
I think
busts.
he is probably in the Origin side.
Yeah.
He was in there last year, so
Yeah.
you would
See, I
assume.
don't pay as much attention to Queensland selections.
With them sort of players, you kind of got to just stay away until
you get the nod.
Named,
Yeah.
Like even Clint Gutherson, staying away from him. I guess let's stem on to the hot topics of the week. And my hot topic to start off the week was the round 13 buys. Who's a must? Is there a must? I don't think there is. But who's your first in if Origin selections don't go their way? So I'll kick it off and I'll say I'm trading James Tedesco straight back to Clint Gutherson next week. If Gutho doesn't get named in 14th man or somehow in the side or the 18th man. Yeah. Is it 19th man? It's 18th.
18th man.
Yeah.
You only get 17. So you got a bonus too.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sweet. Yeah, nice. Okay. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so last week I traded Clint Gutherson to James Tedesco, banked $200K. So hopefully next week.
I don't like that, man. I don't like back and forth, yeah. But you're for it, though. You like the rotation.
But I guess this is to my second point, the fullback rotation. I think the perfect way to go about it is by doing that.
Okay.
Because I think, like Clint Gutherson, I cashed him out at $800K, banked $200K from going to Teddy, and then I do that trade next week, and it's, I guess, a sideways trade, but I'm getting that 13 player, but I've banked $200K.
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Usually, ideally, I'd wait a few more weeks and bank $100K from Teddy to Gutho. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a perfect strategy. So you don't have to worry about cheapies at all. Because at this point in the season, you don't want to be playing your cheapies because your team should be strong enough.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that strategy?
Yeah. If that's the way you're going about it, I like it. It's fine. It just doesn't go with my long game plan. So that's why I hear that and I go, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
But you've got a different game plan, you know. What I mean? And a different strategy, which is great. If everyone had the same strategy, it'd be silly. But so I guess on that sort of hot topic, I guess it's I don't know whether I'm making up my own hot topic or whether this is a hot topic of do you need a fullback in round 13? Is that important? Can you have like, say, in my instance, can I not have Turbo or can I just leave Turbo and Teddy there and play another 13?
Yes.
Or do I need to try get a fullback in because they're the big scorers?
I don't think you need to because
I've got the Nico Hines as a backup, you know what I mean? Where you're covering that a little bit.
You've just got to think about it like the fullbacks are only so on high demand because there's like 4 or 5 of them that can go 150 plus on any day.
Yeah, but then you look at some of the other ones too, like Val Holmes, and then also, I'm not saying he's a 13 player, but also, what's his other bloke's name? I'm trying to think of the
Walsh?
team. No, another fullback. Walsh. Walsh is another one. But Kennedy.
Will Kennedy.
You know, some of these players are still doing it because they're a fullback and because they're the now the big playmakers and they're getting the points. So.
No, but I guess.
Do you think I can just not have?
I think you can because there's, as I said, there's 4 or 5 that can go 150 plus on any day. But when you look at these players, like there was Matt Duffy, he won't be available next week. There's Jermaine Asako, he's available in centre wing, so you don't really need to get him in. Dane Laurie, he's in everyone's side at the moment, unless you've sold.
No, I got him,
Panthers, there's Dylan Edwards. He could be someone you could swap to. I don't mind it.
It's funky. It's funky.
There is Nico Hines. He's available in centre wing. AJ Brimson.
Probably get selected. I reckon he should get selected.
No, if he doesn't,
only because I think Calvin Ponga's going to go to 6. But
if he doesn't, then AJ Brimson in round 13 down from Teddy is not a bad shout.
He has some great games, but he has some quiet ones too.
I agree.
All right.
And then that's why Tex Hoy will fill in for the Knights in round 13. And that's why I identified Clint Gutherson because he's the only one there who can be in the same category as the other.
So
4
if
or 5?
Gutho's available, my question would be, do you think I should be trying to get him? Because, a lot of other people, although I think, I've got a fullback, I've got Nico Hines, he's playing in my centres, and a lot of other people have him too. So that sort of negates that. So if a lot of other people have Gutho and I'm missing out on, say, maybe 100 and 120 points potentially from Gutho in that game on round 13, where a lot of the other positions, in the forwards might only get me those 60s, couple of 50s, and even the guns.
I think, yeah, you should
be
try and get
targeting
Gutho if he plays round 13, but I think he's owned by about, 53% of the top 100.
Yeah, but a lot of the time I think you've got to match up so you don't fall apart.
But that's what I'm saying. If he doesn't get picked for Origin, then you're in an advantage because you've
Yeah.
waited right up until now. Whereas if he gets picked, I think it's kind of something you do have to match because against Newcastle as well, who will be depleted and they'll leak points, I really think that Gutho is probably a captain option for round 13 as well.
Yeah. All right, cool. I like that. That's a good talk.
Good talk. But I guess anything else on that or
on hot topics or just
so round 13? Who's a must-have?
I think the must-haves are basically the people that you've held on to.
I think
decent enough players.
But I think based on matchups, Nico Hines is probably there.
Oh yeah, pretty much. But just the price is crazy now. Like
I think you can still jump on.
How long's Puppy out for now? Like they're saying longer, right?
15, 16. So he's still got 3 weeks.
He's still going to make a little bit of money. So the price doesn't. It's if you can afford it and you can make it happen. It just depends whether you're like what lamb are you sacrificing to get him. If people are going selling, I see a lot of people selling 13 players to 13 players, like Dane Laurie to, or someone else wanted to sell Dane Laurie to Garrick, and I was like, no, I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? It's just it's not the right move now. I'd waited a little bit on that.
Not now, no.
Yeah.
I would understand if their break even is like. Actually, no, I don't.
No,
understand.
you're playing
Charlie
for
Staines' break even is 77. You got to cop that bit.
You're playing for points. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, and the Storm play the Titans in round 13, whereas there's no real guns. Like maybe Jermaine Asako is a decent pod to pot up with in round 13 against the Dragons.
I like him, and I do like Val. I just like the fact that they kick. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and the fullbacks, and you can get them in the CW
and in the centres.
CTW. Just gotta stop saying that back to front, man.
Matt Burton, the most traded in this week. What are your thoughts on him? I assume people are banking the money from going Walker to Burton.
Yeah, the only reason I laugh is not to sort of laugh at Matt Burton or anything. It's just because just before the show, I just showed you a reminder that came onto my phone that said, "Look at Matt Burton." So, I just sort of had a yawn and that sort of went into a weird voice. Sorry, guys. So when I was watching that game and he was sort of carving up, I was like, just sort of set a Siri reminder to remind me to look at Matt Burton today a bit closer and stuff. But I sort of had a bit of a closer look a couple of days ago, and I just sort of thought,
I didn't like what I saw when I looked at him. Yeah,
I just thought it was more so he's not going to score 3 tries every game. I love that he's going to get shifted into the halves for the round 13, and maybe those backups where maybe they rest Cleary or maybe they rest Jerome. So it is kind of nice, but the thing I'm against it is that centers aren't scoring great this year. He's a massive exception to that, but I don't love it, bro. There's something about it I don't love.
In the Penrith side, like he scored so many tries this year, and you can just tell the games he scored the tries, like 56 against Newcastle, he scored there. 34 against Manly, obviously didn't score there. Sharks, he scored. 21 against Gold Coast, didn't score.
I hate to say it, but every game that Penrith play is an easy game except for the Storm.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty easy.
I agree. Storm without Pappenhausen in round 3. He played in the halves and only scored 41, and that's his second lowest score of the year.
Yeah, when he had an all right game too. He was kicking big, and he didn't
it's weird.
control the team.
I haven't seen him kick since he went into the centres, which is weird, right?
You think they'd utilise that? Or at least when they've got rushed, at least one time passed it off, and he's had to. I think he might have put 1 or 2.
I guess they don't need him to because they've got Cleary just absolutely
and
dominating.
They've set up so well. They get the quick play the ball when they give him space and time. So for Cleary, that is, yeah. I don't know. Look, I wouldn't say to people, don't get him. I think he's one of those ones that I think.
I'm saying don't get him.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, this week against the Bulldogs,
Do you know what I like about that matchup though? Is just because he's going to the club. It's like
Yeah.
look at you getting, and it's put a show on. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's definitely an option, man. I just think for my sake, I think I'm going to want to need to try get him out, and there's going to be better options.
Yep.
So I think why not just get that better option now? I can afford it now. I don't need to go from where I'm at to Burton to that next guy, which is Jerome Hughes. So
yeah, I agree.
But on Jerome Hughes, like he's been named a little bit early. He's been brought into the side.
So
he's rushed in.
I've pretty much got the top 10 traded in up. We've talked about Pelasia. We've talked about Brandon Smith. We've talked about Rhys. Have we talked about Rhys Walsh as a buy, though?
Look, I think he is a little bit. I didn't think he was before just because of, the other, you've got Teddies and stuff like that. But he could be a really good option to look at to get you to cover 17 and well. And he's now got they've given him the spot. It's not like the first couple of weeks where they're like, oh, we'll trial it out, and then when they shifted it back and they gave RTS his spot back the week after, I was a bit like, oh, okay, he's coming off the bench and he's an impact player.
Yep.
Now they've gone, all right, he's here and he's made it his spot. So now that it is his spot,
so 45 minutes against Parramatta, 100 points.
Yeah.
80 minutes, 129 on the weekend. Lowest score of 42 in 26 minutes. So he's got it.
Yeah, he's you can't say he's not an option now.
You could argue that he's in that tier, like 129.
I would have liked to have got him cheaper.
Yeah, but I think it's worth it. I think you're paying for what you get with him. But so
I wouldn't want to run home with him, but he might be a little middle period that you use
through to 17,
maybe. Yeah.
So Jerome Hughes.
Yeah. So the thing with me is like I know from what I've been he's been someone I've been targeting for a couple of weeks, and sort of for this timing. But when I was watching Bellamy sort of speak about whether Jerome would back, he sort of said, he would this week, or we would hope he would be, but it seemed rushed. Like it seems like he's a week early, and it's just out of necessity because of, filling the holes and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the good thing is he plays Thursday night.
Yeah, so that's the thing I love about it. You get the information an hour before the game, and if you there is a chance he doesn't play, that they might hook him. You know what I mean? So I've got to prepare for that, and have a backup plan, I guess, which I don't have at the moment, but that's fine. But yeah, the other thing about it is coming back from an injury. I kind of like to give them that one game to make sure that isn't an issue for them and limit their impact, and or not only that it doesn't get the injury doesn't tweak again. And
I've looked at Jerome Hughes, and I really don't think he's what he's cracked up to be as a buy.
I only think he is now because the Munster's not there, and he's got to take control of that team.
True.
Because Cooper Johns wasn't fantastic in that playmaking role or guiding a team. It wasn't fantastic at all. Like I'm not going to bag the guy or anything.
He's a Johns. He's got it.
It didn't he didn't really fit that Storm frame perfectly. When they say, "Oh, a guy comes in fits the mold," like it didn't come in and do the Hines Pappenhausen swap. You know what I mean? So, and that Chris Lewis, he played all right. Looked like Munster on the field from the back, which confused me a lot. I'm like, oh, what's going on? But he ran a little bit, and they're going to need him, man. So, I think he's an option. It'll be sort of about around him, sort of getting the ball to Hines that are out the back and stuff. But I don't know, man. I don't like going early on things, but the problem with it is Sam Walker, if you're going to sell him, you've got to sell him now because he's going to drop the massive BE.
Yep. You haven't considered shifting Nicarima and getting in a Dewey?
Nah, I'm off Dewey, man.
Yeah, no Dewey.
The only thing I did think about is shifting Nicarima, moving Watson down to... So moving Nicarina up to halfback, moving Watson down to 5'8", and then bringing Brandon Smith into hooker temporarily, and then maybe at some point I could even pull him back into the second row.
I think that's a good option if you're getting in Brandon Smith.
Yeah, I definitely.
I like it.
Yeah, but the only thing is, I was all about the cheese man for a bit. I was like, oh yeah, I can get the cheese in my team. He's never ever going to be in my team, but I'm seeing some good things. But I'm a bit nervous about the 60 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous that, I don't know, just he doesn't have the runs and stuff that he has.
Yeah,
as much.
I don't think he's an option.
I don't like it now.
He started off the season with 30s and 40s.
Yeah. And I remember everyone that had the cheese, I was never scared of the cheese. Even when he had some good games, oh, yes, the cheese is doing all right. I'm like, yeah, well, you don't get excited when he just gets
3 try assists for 106. Like,
yeah.
That's, I mean, Teddy 3 try assists for 97. Yeah. Which, you know, he's probably the 5th best fullback in
I think a part of the appeal was I was trying to identify the next hooker, like where I'm sort of going to next for a little bit, because I want to get Watson out as soon as I can after
round 17 is a bit weird, eh? Like, who's an option? I think the only person I've thought of is Tom Starling. Maybe Rhys Robson.
Maybe Baby Brayley. He plays 80, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's not. I haven't looked at his score. I haven't had mine. I've got no idea what he's doing, man. You know what I mean? He's not playing terrible football, but he's not lighting anything up. So I don't think he's probably translating that great. He probably makes a lot of tackles.
Yeah, I don't know. Waiting, and maybe it's just probably something not to worry about.
And you got like Lachlan Crokers and bloody
I know. There's
Granvilles and stuff like that.
Maybe Carl Lawton.
No.
They've got a really good draw coming up, and he is 341,000. He scored 58 on the weekend and got
scored
sent
a try
off.
though.
And he got sent off though.
Yeah.
Sin-binned. So he played 47 minutes for 58. I think he's one to watch out for, especially if he takes that hooker role.
Yeah, maybe. What about no.
I think Tom Starling is a standout.
I wonder if what's his face, little Benji Marshall's little brother's back around then.
Oh, yep.
He might be back by then. He could be an option. He's not great, but
he could be.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
I think we've gotten through a lot of the hot topics. I think there was.
Fafita being back this week. Do you reckon there's any merit in rushing him, getting him for 1 week, having him and seeing how, like, not having him for the bye, but then seeing if he backs up and
plays against Sharks?
Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, I'd be scared to come up against a team head to head if they had him, but then it seems messy, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's probably not. Yeah, I don't know.
Seems messy.
It does. And I guess there's no need to rush him back in because no one else is. But maybe that is the reason. In the Val Holmes number 8.
Yeah.
You like him?
Val Holmes at number 8?
No, he's number 8 on the traded in.
Oh, okay. So I was like thinking as a prop, I was like, oh, no, I wouldn't ever play him there, mate. I know. What's his name? Ponga did all right in the middle at one game, but no, I wouldn't do him.
He did?
I like, man, it's funny. When you had him in your side last week, I was a bit jealous. I was like, I hate when you do good things that I don't do, and I get a bit jealous of you. Nice.
I'm the same with like Mikey and Jake.
Yeah.
And yourself as well.
Yeah.
It's funny. I love seeing you do so well, but then I'm like,
if
he does shit, that means I get a jump.
Yeah, you like it. You roll for it. Yeah. You got to. You sort of. Until you're no good, you don't ride.
It's just kind of
against. You death ride me a little bit.
It's just kind of competitive nature with like the top.
It's part of the game, mate.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm
jealous of him.
Yeah, I'm a bit jealous of him. When I pulled up at the front to come and meet with you, I parked behind a car that had Val. I won't say the last two. I'm not going to say someone's number plate, but
59L.
That you just gave away someone's number plate.
Well, what are they going to do?
Yeah, I guess if we don't know who they are, just a number. You can go and get any number plate from the street. That's fine.
You can search number plates anyway.
That's fine. No one's going to look them up and go get them. Like that. We've got good listeners.
Oi, Tim saw you.
I'm going to get you now.
Yeah. So Val 59L. What do we think that means, lads?
59 line breaks.
59 line breaks.
Yeah, just going to go. No. Look, I don't look into too many of those signs. They were just coincidental. I like him for going forward. I know you do. You've seen quite a few number plates in the past.
I saw SJ something once one year. Captain SJ that week, and he scored 108. And that was a really good score for back in the day.
Do you know what? I reckon those things, they don't just pop up as signs from the universe. It's more you've got that in your subconscious.
Yes,
so you see that. Yeah, that's where that comes from. Yep. But yeah, so it's not sort of a sign from the universe. It's more your subconscious being supported by things that you're looking for. I sort of think I'll probably try look for him. after the Origin period, though, and he's probably going to get selected for Origin for sure.
Yeah, he's someone I'm probably not going to sell, though, because
No.
with the trades I've got, I don't have many. So
Yeah.
I've really got to just hold
You're
on.
using 2 this week and you're still maxing out, aren't you?
I've maxed out.
A lot of people are, man. Everyone's
I know, but I think the thought process behind that is Nicarima in this week. So I've boosted up numbers before.
The 17, you're forward planning.
So, I mean, hopefully in that middle period I can save some.
I think a good week to save some is maybe that 5-week round between
Yes,
15 and 16.
yes.
If you can only use 2 then or
Use
1.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
That's safe.
3 is a maximum for people who haven't saved. I think that'd
Yeah.
be a good place to save 2.
Yeah. Even
Because 1's a bonus anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Sweet. I haven't put a questions thread up on Facebook, so looks like we're running bare on the questions. But I think
People, we're going to have okay, let's just imagine Frank. Sorry, mate, can't pronounce your surname. Costa Lista Vedita. Hope we didn't pronounce that incorrectly. He's got a question. Is Matt Burton a buy?
think we've already answered that, mate.
Yeah, we've already answered that question, mate. No, we're just making up questions. But I bet you that's a question for sure if we had to put it out there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Is Sam Walker to Burton a good trade? And I guess we'll answer that now.
You say no. I say
no.
maybe.
Actually, I think Sam Walker out. Yes. To Matt Burton. I see why. But I'm not convinced.
Healthy, going well in a Panther side. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on.
Okay.
Let's go to our bold predictions and captain choices. We have not talked about the $1 million man.
Nathan Cleary. The people who are in the Penrith community and now he's no longer the Prince of Penrith. He's been titled as the King. So there's King Gutherson. You've got King Wally Lewis, but there's now another King apparently. So I'm all for it. He's kinging it up pretty hard.
Yeah.
I think he's come of age, so it's only fair to upgrade his status.
So scores of 225 and 190 with a questionable try assist and line break assist.
Yeah, I don't look into it too much. I just accept it. Hey, I'm just one of those people that I watch the game and I go, look, they're both involved, and whatever the scoring happens, it happens, and I'm not going to cry about it either.
No, exactly. I think people out there do want justice, but I think
people want consistency. They want an understanding of what.
We're probably never going to get it, but I feel like they lose either way because if they give it to Luai, then people are going to complain about Cleary not having it. Obviously, the people that captain Cleary aren't complaining now. Yeah. But yeah, I'm actually not. I'm not that dirty about it. I feel like, it's my fault for not captaining Cleary. Like he still scored 170 without it if he didn't get it. So really, what does it matter?
Yeah, well, it's funny. When he broke that record the week before, he scored 3 tries, and I think for no one in the Turbo Hammy Cup captained him, and that's a pretty good sign of most of them are all of them are know what they're talking about. I listen to all of them. I listen to their podcasts, and some of them are doing better this year than others, and others have done much better in the past, and some of us that are doing well this year. So they're across the board, they all know what they're doing, but no one's seen. Clear as a captain, you know what I mean? They might have thought about it. No one even.
34% captain. He was the highest.
But in the Turbo Hammies Cup, I'm talking.
Yeah.
So out of all those podcasters, everyone's gone. I'm staying away from that. So I think that was based on the fact that he scored 3 tries. He's not going to do that against a tougher matchup, and then he scores 2 tries, and now I'm sort of at the spotlight.
He pretty much scored exactly the same
plays.
So if he scored another try, he would have scored exactly the same as what he did the week before. Minus 40 break even against Bulldogs. What are your predictions on him this week?
The funny thing is I started to see all these people talking like he won't play before he'll get rested and all this sort of stuff.
He won't get rested.
I didn't think he'd get rested, but people are starting to he'll come off after 60 minutes.
No,
I don't think so. The only reason I think no is because he is a big time player, but he's not like one of those older big time players when they used to rest. They're in the back end of their career. He's fit and strong, man. He's a little
and he wants to play.
His body is like one of those pit bulls. It's it's very tough and condensed and tight. He's tight
like a tiger.
Tight like a tiger. Is that Mahat McCoy?
No, it's
I think it was
Austin
Mohammed
Powers
Coat.
gold member.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It's not Mohammed Coat.
Toy like a toy guy.
But there was a lot of makeup for both of those. I think they were wearing
Yeah.
a lot of Good.
So bold predictions.
Bold predictions. Oh, yeah, look, my bold predictions. I realised I made just ridiculous ones, and because you started scoring them last week, like they were with scoring now, I'm trying to be just more plain. But I want to establish something. Players like, Turbo, Cleary. If you're gonna say, like, is it bold to say that they're going to score 150? That's not really, is it now? Like, or it's not bold, is it?
I think it is.
Where's the limit of them? Because I think we need to be like. Otherwise, I'm just going to say bold predictions each week of Cleary. Like, where's the line? I'll just say 125 for Cleary, 125 for Turbo, and 125 for Teddy. Lock that in. Is that bold?
Yeah, I think that's bold.
Because that's how I want to go. I want to start scoring well. I don't want to start getting fruity. And like last week, I picked Sammy to score. I think it was about 75, and he scored a bit better than that. But yeah, I don't want to go fruity ones. I'm just going to go guns, man. You know what I mean? I just want to look like I know what I'm talking about. I looked at my bloody bold predictions last week, and everyone else has got all these relevant players, and I've just got these nonsense things. It's like, does this guy even play Supercoach?
Yeah, true.
So I want to give out some good information. I think those players are all going to score good, and I want to be right about it. So if you think that's bold, I don't think it is. I think that's par, and that's what's expected of them in 2021. But I'll take it if you accept that.
I accept it. I accept it. The three-way as well. Like
125 for each.
Yep. I like it. What's your crazy one?
I had a couple of little weird ones floating around my mind, and I'm going to say that a player or a coach is going to get coronavirus this weekend and be excluded.
Oh, geez.
It's not big at the moment, the coronavirus too.
No.
But I feel like it's been quiet, and we're due for some fear in the community again.
Right. Okay. Interesting. I hope not, because we've seen the stoppages that the game brings across.
Yeah, I hope it's not, but yeah.
So I'm gonna go Turbo 130 plus. You're like, that's not bold, but he's been in my predictions like every week, and he's
you just gave me Turbo 125. So if you're going to go 5 points ahead, then like I can't really argue it.
130 plus. I'm going to go Cleary sub 100. Is that bold?
Yeah, that's heaps bold, bro.
You reckon?
That's heaps bold. He averages 100. So for him to not go 100, then that's bold, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
100%, man.
And Nick Arima 100 plus.
So does that mean that you're not going to captain Cleary?
No, I'm not. Oh, well, yeah. I guess we'll stem this on.
Oh, what, do you have any crazy ones? Can I take that Cronus one back? I know a few people of our listeners heard it. It's negative. I just don't want it to happen. I'll put positive things out there.
Yeah, okay.
Like, last week, you see
like
a willy on camera. Everyone wants to
yes.
see a bit of a willy on camera. It's funny.
Yep.
That was a laugh at that. A few of the girls at home like, oh, husband's like, I get out of it.
Yep. What do you change it to?
Let's go. Can we come back to it?
Yes. So mine's Turbo 130 plus, Cleary sub 100, Nick Arima 100 plus, and my crazy one will probably be is it crazy to say Melbourne are going to put 50 on the Broncos?
No, I think that's like the line would probably be about 30.
No, I don't want to say that because I feel like I'm just not feeling anything crazy this week.
I've got one a little bit crazy. I forgot it, but then when you said you're not thinking one, it sort of threw me. Oh, no, we're going to have to come back to it. I'm bloody gossed it.
All right, captains. Well, I'm vice-captaining Cleary because...
Protection.
Yeah, obviously. But I know, I just need a pod. I need a pod, and if he scores sub 100, then I'm ahead. Cleary, he scored tries the last few weeks, and against the Bulldogs, I just feel like the matchup is way too good to be true.
It is.
And I feel like I never like going the 40 to 50% captain option. Let me see what he's at the moment, because he was at
the thing I thought about too, like, he's not going to score 2 tries, 3 tries every game. He's probably not even going to score. He's a good chance, even against the easiest team, he won't score a try because He's not going to run it. He'll see an opportunity to pass it, which is the better play.
Yeah.
But either way, he's still setting up a try. It's not like Cleary's going to go missing at the back.
Yeah.
He controls the ball. He wants the ball every set. So I think if he's not scoring tries, it's still being translated into other
and
points.
the 1 million player, 41% captain. So nearly half super coaches are captaining him.
But
I'm just vice captaining him as in pure insurance. But I think Bulldogs with Josh Jackson.
Yeah. If you got insurance, that's fine. 100%. It's just like what I did with Teddy last week. Yeah. If you're going to just go completely against it, it's really risky.
I've thought of my crazy one.
Mm-hmm.
The second $1 million man to emerge in Tom Trbojevic.
That's not bold. That's going to happen, isn't it?
Well, his break even is 74, so he needs probably.
But it would be this weekend. So
yeah.
Oh, you need a reasonably decent score still, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll need a probably plus 130.
Okay. Yep.
So I guess that's not. I can probably incorporate that with the other.
I just got my other one. There'll be a coach sacked by the end of the weekend.
Oh, Coach Sack.
Yeah.
Which one?
It's either going to be O'Brien or Ricky Stewart, and I'd like to see it to be Ricky Stewart. I don't know. He's just giving me the shits at the moment. I'm not even a Canberra fan, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Just sort of. I don't know. I just feel like he's overcooked there. Maybe he's been in the role for a bit.
So, I think so too. And even when they're hot, I honestly, I wouldn't say
they were defensively hot too. You know what I mean? They weren't putting sides away or anything.
I didn't think it was sustainable, but I think just their style of play was just
Jack Whiten's very one out.
Yeah, it was very black and white.
Yeah.
There was no second dimension to it.
Cross kick to Croker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it was all about defense, and I just don't like Canberra as a side. They've got nothing exciting going for them. Like Tom Starling, I love Tom Starling. I think Corey Harawira, I like them. So with them sort of players, I think that they're going to involve. I actually really like George Williams too. I think it's very sad to see him go.
Yeah.
It's
good fun mouth guard. I like the cranky teeth.
Yeah. But yeah, bold prediction. Maybe I'll land a $100 odd multi on Top Sport.
Wow. They'll be upset you signed up this week.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Let's wrap it up. An hour in.
We were going to give out some punting plays, but we actually haven't really put so much thought into it. So without actually just jumping off the top of our head and giving you guys, get on this.
We'll do it through the week. So as you think of it, as I think of it, we'll just post it straight away.
Yeah.
We won't do it in bulk. We'll just do it separately.
Sweet. I like that. That will give you a bit of consideration to it rather than just going, get on this 13 plus and that 13 plus without knowing the price.
Exactly. So, cheers, guys. Make sure you jump onto Top Sport if you haven't through SC Playbook or SC All Stars yet. Use our code SC Experience. That's it.
All right.
See you later, guys.
Like some pound cake. I'd like some pound cake. Some cake. I'd like some pound cake. Some cake. Some pound cake. Some cake. I'd like some pound cake. Some cake. I'd like some pound cake. Some cake. I'd like some pound cake. Some cake. Some pound cake. Some cake. I'd like some pound cake. Some I'd like pound cake. Some cake. I'd like some pound cake. Some cake. Some pound cake. Some cake. I'd like some pound cake. Some cake. Cake. I found cake. Some cake. I'd like some pound cake. Some pound cake. Some I'd like some pound cake. Some I'd like some pound cake.